Warlock. But it's all about who gets that little edge in the timings.
Yeah, I agree with you. It's timings all the way. Warlock, he's got a quota to meet. If he gets a respectable Ags refresher, there's really no stopping that kind of a siege. So I have to say, I feel very pressure on the bounty hunter. Not only do you now have to kind of tantalize and tease this Chen, you might also have to consider keeping this mid lane in check. Warlock, you know, doesn't have any sort of escape mechanism. He's relatively slow. Yeah, he has a sustained power with a little bit of heal, but outside of that, it could be a bit troublesome. So they might need to also pressure this Warlock so he can't just kind of have a fruitful start. So we'll see. I'm very curious overall to see this HellRaisers squad with their new lineup, how synergetic they'll be. 4 anchors, they're feeling refreshed. We last saw them at TI5, but they did play more recent than that. I had it brought up right here. They played in First Game TV Dota 2 Cup. They actually came second to Duza Gaming, but they're a bit more refreshed. So I still would put them as a slight favorite, and they get their precious PL, they're currently undefeated with in this patch. So
on how many games?
Slight nod.
What's the win
3
streak?
games only. Only 3 games, but it's because more teams respect ban it. No, more often.
Hey man, you know, every godlike streak starts with at least 3 kills. So they're they're getting there. They're working on it.
The Dota version of every journey. The journey of 1,000 miles begins with a single step. Very wise of you. All right, guys. Well, with that said, Game 1 is underway, and this best of 3 winner not eliminated, but will be dropped down to the lower bracket. And with that, your commentators, Zyori and Cattle Guy, will be taking you through this one. So, gentlemen, have fun and take it away.
All right. So, HellRaisers on the Radiant side already. Boogie walking in here. And this is sort of similar to that trap that LD talked about. If they had a Sentry Ward down, that could have been a potential first blood on Boogie, who did roll the dice a little bit there. But alas, no sentries are down. They do get an Observer Ward down over here near the pole camp. And that's where Boogie will hop back into that invisible state and move towards the rune. So a little bit of blocking here. Nothing else too crazy.
Orb of Venom early on Boogie. Some bounty hunters like to get boots early. Some go with Orb of Venom. You know, invested in the ward, so he's just going to be on goddamn shoulder now from here on out. And I'm curious to see how he's going to be coping with it. If Earthshaker's going to have to also be there in check. He's notoriously known to be a, you know, kind of a floater as well. It's going to be very interesting. So we'll see how it starts out. And yeah, I can't help but just keep my eyes and see where Boogie's going to be scouting here. You already see Chen looking for that big stack. And if, I don't know, Boogie, does he block it? Does he just kind of hang around, take the last hit on the creep?
I think he blocks the first one and then starts poking him when he moves into the small camp. And some of this is just to try to bait out these sentries. He knows that the Chen needs to use the sentries both to unblock his camps, then also have a chance at harassing this bounty hunter, maybe finding a kill. So a sentry wasted is great news for Boogie, and he's going to stay right on top of him here. Yo, just giving him a little love tap.
I hate this. This is Chen just like, I hate this. I hate this so much. But he's got help. Roman shows up with his visage, but this kind of keeps him back in at bay. I'm also a bit concerned. Dread up in the off lane doing the solo role with his Tusk, and you got a Winter Wyvern who's slowly becoming one of the, you know, great zoners as a support. It is a long cooldown for Arctic Burn early into the game, but once he does have it up, he's very good at being able to poke and pry, especially a melee offlaner like a Tusk. But for now, he's able to get easily close enough for some XP, but it's Matama Man who really is going to get the most out of this lane.
Yep, not all bad for Tusk. One of those sort of classic offlaners, similar to that Clockwork that I always go back to. When he hits that level 6, he can start moving around, but also a hero that can do a lot with farm. So we'll see how that lane continues to go for him here. Boogie rotating into the bottom lane. It is the offlane Earthshaker. I don't think we mentioned it, but a bit of a cord shaker coming out here for Trixie. And as we're looking at this bottom lane that was about to erupt, they get the first blood up top on Tusk. Oh boy.
Yeah. Also, the Chen had been harassing out this mid lane Nymphy, just getting punished from this tornado. You know, you got 2 ways to roll with this Chen. You either go more farm intensive, try to build up into an early mech, then segue into maybe that bottom lane to farm and push down to tier 1, or you kind of just utilize your creep in a sense to give a lot more to your mid laner. In this case, Atho Ninja on that Warlock. Top lane, though, we're seeing a bit of a skirmish here. Valik's going to be eating the early ice shards, does force him back. Tom Man already low on mana because he got Dread down that first time. So he can't really fall through with a whole lot. But this is good. It's great for Atho Ninja. He gets that bit of extra space in a lane where maybe Shadow Fiend usually would thrive, more or less, now has to kind of constantly be put in check.
So it looks like Gotham here is just going to move into the Dire jungle. He's gone up to the top lane. He has 25 XP total into level 1 and a Satyr Tormentor for now. So the struggle is real, but we'll see the rotation right on Volix. Out comes the Cold Embrace. The Ice Cube will keep him alive for now as the Satyr starts going to work. They may have the right-click damage after all. They do. Winter Wyvern's down, but Matumba Man could still find a recovery kill. Knocks off that healing salve as soon as it goes on. Dread, ring around the Rosie. Not enough. Matumba gives him the lance and finds himself a kill. No point in that doppelganger, though. Gotham's going to chase him down. The Hadouken gets him, and Gotham finds a 2-for-1 trade with that rotation. Hello, level 3, says Mr. Chen.
That makes it all worth it. If it had been just the one support takedown Wyvern and the Matumba Man walking away with the kill, it would have been just fine for 4 acres. But man, goddamn, even with the bounty hunter kind of lurking on his territory, he's able to still get a good creep and make some strong use out of it. Makes the bird work in the mid lane, zoning back the Shadow Fiend. Now makes a long rotation towards the top, and with that, he's just going to hang out in the 4 acres territory. So props to him. He's making this Chen work in a situation where you think he'd have a bit of a tough time, showing his micro skills already in play.
Yeah, and the other great thing about this rotation is now he's supporting this Tusk in the offlane, and all of a sudden 4ASC, who were dominating and zoning him out, are forced back, and Dread is finding some last hits. Already 4-0 after that kill, and as we talked about, Tusk, who gets some farm on top of that experience, can become a real threat. If he can move around at level 6, maybe start working towards a Shadow Blade, something like that, that's where he becomes hell in a handbasket to deal with, so to speak. All right,
a little harassment onto Dread, but now they know Gotham's nearby, and he gets that Harpy. And you got to remember, that was buffed up. These weaker creeps now have even a bigger boosted HP pool. 800 life on the Harpy. Can continue to zone them back, but mid lane, look at this Trixie. He's floating around, thinking about a go, potentially with this Earthshaker, but kind of second guesses it. This is weird. You're off lane, Earthshaker kind of position, roaming already, leaving Gyrocopter to kind of farm up, trying to get proactive. A bit unusual, but unable to come up with anything.
We see these plays occasionally, and the great thing about it is if you can't find experience in the bottom lane, like right now he's giving all of that XP to Boogie so he can recover a little bit now that the Chen has left the jungle. If Trixie does find a kill in the mid lane, he gets some much needed farm and experience, the Shadow Fiend gets much needed farm and experience, and then this Warlock starts to fall behind. So it does feel like a worthy risk as long as there's someone else in that off lane making use of that XP. But up top, Matumba Man gets put in the Ice Cube straight away as that snowball comes cruising in, the Harpy nearby, throwing out all that damage, but it's not enough to bring down Matumba Man. Doppelganger across will keep him alive. They've already lost their Chen, and I think HR will be happy with, pardon me, 4ASC will be happy turning that one around and keeping their PL alive.
Very nice. Winter Wyvern, what a hero, right? Got the Cold Embrace off and a PL. Doppelganger. But look at this mid lane. The Rock going to be dropped. And now they're making a go for Nephi, following it up with Roman, who does have the Soul Assumption. Not enough damage, but the ticking dot is not going to be enough. Yes, it will. Okay. Yep. Thanks for teasing me there, but
he tries to bottle through it. Not enough. I mean, look at this Warlock's build. This is a great mid lane build. You go 2-point stats, all Shadow Word, and nothing else. That thing does a lot of damage.
Yeah. This is one thing I didn't really scope out. He is all in on this dot damage, and now with a successful first gank on this mid lane, using the first rock in the game, he's going to try to get some early damage onto this tier 1. See, Nephi already makes his return, would love to farm up that golem, gets a couple of raises out, but no, he does have to be careful. Eats another big nuke, and he's going to have to walk all the way back. It is 6 minutes. There is conveniently a regen at the bottom for him to take.
Look at this damage. This is so hard for Nephi to deal with. Just one DOT. Oh, yeah, there we go.
Roman's going to go down in exchange for the Earthshaker. This is just another bloodbath in the making. Dread going to get caught out. The cold nuke going to be connecting very slow. Goes into snowball. It's desperation mode for him to make it out in a way. Matumba Man going to be looking to step back. They clear out the Chen with the toss coming out from your bounty hunter. Dread goes down to a swing. And yeah, Matumba Man, he knows how to play this PL, and that's why he gets that respect band time and time again. Just a dirty hero in the right hands.
Yeah, very nicely done. Some much needed momentum for the PL there. HR still finding much better farm out of this laning stage, though. Ahead by about 1,500 gold, somewhere about 1,500 net worth at the moment. Gyrocopter's had nearly unlimited space in this bottom lane, pretty much just free farming away. And this Warlock, well, we've seen the damage he's done to this Shadow Fiend, and it is reflected on the farm charts as he is actually number one right now.
He ate some flat cannon damage. He tried to go in and swing with the totem. That prompted Just a Noob to take down the call down here and almost gets the kill. Makes you wonder in those certain cases for some gyrocopters. And
It's a snowball. He's going to buy himself a little bit of time here, but he is surrounded. Boogie nearby, throws out the shuriken, and that'll be another easy pick-off for the Dire side. Man, this is another bloodbath. Every lane just erupting with chaos.
It's just crazy. So before that, Trixie etches away. You know, some gyrocopters, they like that early value point in the homing missile, and just a noob passes over, and you can't help but wonder, it's like, well, if he had that homing missile point, that would have been a kill guaranteed, but feeling pretty confident that he has no contention in the lane. He goes for the more farm priority kind of a build. The rocket barrage is obviously wonderful. If a bounty hunter tries to catch you out on your solo, you can just turn it right back on his ass, but, you know, we'll have to see. He's still going to be able to thrive pretty hard. It looks like here comes that first rotation from your Chen. They're going to go for a push on the bottom tier 1 tower. Will the defense be coming here? 4 anchors. Trixie not yet level 6, so doesn't have that Echo Slam to utilize.
He just gets level 6 as this push commences. He does have a smoke in the inventory as well. Could look for some kind of a wraparound play, but appears 4ASC will not overreact to this one and probably just let it go down. Happy to spread out in the jungle, knowing where most of HR are at the moment. They will just continue to split and farm. Nemphy's rotated into the jungle, and Boogie, he'll hang out in the mid, at least for now, although very low on HP. Glyph comes out, and this will be a free tower going the way of the Radiant, but who gets the last hit here? That is the question. Just the noob on the gyrocopter. Already close to that HOD.
Boogie must have danced with Afro Ninja in the mid lane and then got that warm welcome of the Shadow Word that's been buffed up plus the stats, and he actually almost went down. One more tick of the damage would have finished him off, but now they claim almost another tower, but he will have to double back, at least for now. Top lane, Dread, I always keep an eye because he just continues to get prodded here from Matama Man, dishing out the Spirit Lance, and you know, now he's finally level 6, so I'm curious if Dread's going to get a bit more proactive with that, you know, Walrus Falcon Punch ready to go. It could be a nice utility tool to, but I don't know. The peaking point for HR just seems a bit interesting for me. It's very apparent that they have a nice sieging lineup. They want to get many towers so they can rush to that Agnums and to that Refresher. But
Gyro. He's going to be in a world of hurt. That Rocket Barrage doing some good damage, but they'll go ahead and use the ultimate there from the Winter Wyvern. Well worth it to secure an easy kill on the Gyrocopter. A much-needed kill at that.
Smoke mid lane here. Afro Ninja, he has a rock. Will he drop it? He certainly will. Oh. The People's Elbow coming down from the heavens above, and now Nemphy caught a little bit from the slow. Soul Assumption flies. Not enough quite yet. Gets the Cold Embrace, but one last spink on the ass from your Golem. Going to be securing that one. Trixie eating a lot of the damage from the Immolation kind of a burn. We'll step back and away. Another Soul Assumption, this time on the Boogie. They get a follow-up kill. It's Afro Ninja with 2. This Warlock,
look at the sustain.
Deceptive in the damage he can put out, but gets caught right there. Balix catches him with a nice Splinter Blast, but here we go. Here comes Just a Noob, migrating from the bottom. Big call down. Nice Cold Embrace saves him from now. He's weighing it out. Will it be enough? It will not. He gets shot down. 4 down all day from the side of 4 Acres. This new roster from HellRaisers looking pretty sharp at the start of game number 1.
Absolutely. Great trade there for them. They'll also claim the Tier 1 tower. Last hit goes the way of Got him on the Chen. Boy, has he recovered from that slow start. Now level 7. Arcane Boots, 1,000 gold sitting in the bank. Gyrocopter, man, a great hero to deal with the Winter Wyvern. You saw right there the Cold Embrace. Kept her alive a bit longer, but Rocket Barrage just getting all that damage in and keeping her very low, counteracting all of that regen. Half Ninja also doing a really good job with his ultimate here. He has gone for the Hand of Midas build. We've seen a lot of Warlocks do this, especially like the MVP Phoenix days come to mind. If you get that early start, go for the Midas, get that XP boost, and try to rush out that Refresher once you have your Aghanims as quickly as possible. You talked about their deception on how much damage the Warlock can put out, but also how much he can take. It seemed like multiple times in that fight he was surely dead and just lived forever with all that sustainability with the Shadow Word. Very nice.
This is just such a great start for HellRaisers. Warlock already has his Midas. He's on a great farm pace. Him and Gyro both at the top 2 of net worth. You know, bringing in those towers certainly helps all of that, but they're just going to continue that kind of momentum and literally snowball ahead of the game, and they might continue to do so here at the top. Early harassment coming out with the Spirit Lance onto Goddamn, but he's got his own creeps, dancing with them a bit. Oh man, look at that Shuriken. It's all over the place. That track, it's on 4 targets. That's such a beautiful thing that Ice Frog did add. That's where, you know, Boogie just kind of sits back, gets out as many tracks as possible. Another one here on the Dread. And that's where 4 Acres can come back. They get big kills like that, and they get a big bounty for it. But here we go. Big turnaround call down Soul Assumption. The Dragon's insane. What an echo coming out from Trixie, but it's not enough. He goes down, and Just a Noob says, I'm looking to take over. Not before he dies thereafter. Dread buying back. Nemphy shows goes up, unleashes a Requiem, but a snowball coming from above. And now Dread looking to chop him back. It looks like the dust might settle.
Whoa!
Or will it? A snag comes out from Tusk, getting Boogie on the side. And it's going to be what looks like a 4-for-4 trade if you count the buyback from Dread. 13 to 12, the bloodbath goes on.
Oh my. Dire side getting the net worth gain out of that fight. The buyback, as you mentioned, making the big difference there. Pretty chaotic fight. For ASC, though, they make the hold and finally get a little momentum for themselves. But Tumba Man now has Drum Up Endurance, picks up a little bit of life steal for himself on the PL, but still has a while to go before he's really ready to skirmish. That Diffusal Blade, the key item before PL can start moving around, really doing a lot of damage. We've got a game on our hands here, Dakota. 12 to 13 at the 13-minute mark. Things starting to level out a little bit more.
This is pretty crazy. I mean, imagine if Goddamn had the heal for that last fight. It was on cooldown because, well, level 1, the cooldown is just ridiculous. It feels like 3 days before you can even use that precious sustain. But
yeah, that is one issue.
Yeah,
that's one issue for HR is they sort of need to fight around the chaotic offering cooldown, which is a long one, about 2.5 minutes. So there are these windows before ASC can feel a little more comfortable taking these team fights. This situation here, not one of them. Every ultimate available for HR except the Visage Birds that are already out on the field, and they will start to slow siege this tower. For ASC, though, they are lingering nearby. They don't have an Echo for another 50 seconds. Requiem still down for 30. This may be a tower that they just want to sacrifice unless they can find the perfect angle of initiation. Bounty Hunter hiding around the backside does not want to get scouted out. PL, meanwhile, he's down bottom. He gets a free tower out of this, so all of a sudden HR feeling like they need to make it happen.
And they are not leaving till this tier 1 goes down. Looks like they'll finally grab it on the way back. They could scout out Boogie. He's in range of the sentry, but by the time they get the vision, he's out of it, so it looks like they're just going to retreat back, and I'm curious to see what the next step is from HellRaisers. You know, cross one off the list, clear out all 3 tier 1s, and now you're going to see the money really start to roll in. Afro Ninja suddenly already has his point booster and +1 component towards that Agnes. He's on fantastic timing for the itemization build that he's going for, and 4 anchors, they might need to just try to hold out his 4 and hope that maybe their PL can bring it back here. He's dancing right now with Gyrocopter bottom, but is able to
nice play from PL, though. He forces out the channel, and now RMN's in trouble in the top lane. Echo Slam used by Trixie secures an easy kill, and Visage will end up in the grave. Nice 2-pronged assault there, and hey, there's another fight going on. Volix and Dread going right at it. Ice Cubes aplenty. First the Cold Embrace, then the Winner's Curse, enough to keep the Tusk locked down for the support to get there, and Trixie will end with a double kill as Fissure secures that one.
And they got that track kill. Look at this, just a noob on a chase from a Tumba Man. Still no rocket, but he is just rushing him. And, well, he's doppelgangers away from a little bit of... Oh, nice. The rocket barrage not going to make... Okay.
Oh!
He's just so damn fast. He just flies right up to him and gets the kill.
Yep, that Yasha difference. And it secures the kill. That's some carry-on-carry action down there. And I guess what started out as a really good play for the PL to force out the Chen ult ends up backfiring a little bit there. So... less than ideal as Gyro continues to find some decent farm, but here's an interesting item-hero combination. Boogie on the Bounty Hunter goes for Arcane Boots Mechanism instead of something a little more aggressive as we see many Bounty Hunters try.
I guess just gonna go for the Greaves at this point. Yeah, you don't see that very often. More of a
that opens up...
kind of a build.
It opens up a little space for the Shadow Fiend, who also does a slightly different build that we don't see so much. It's been Yule's or Mech first item on Shadow Fiends for the vast majority, and here he goes treads right into Blink. So more aggressive. It is a decent farming tool. It does let you move around, but more for setting up those kills. So I think a sign that 4ASC want to stay aggressive here. And Boogie. Sentry Ward comes down, but he just barely gets out of range. Snowball will chase him. They have another Sentry. No, Dread does not, and he will make it out. But boy, was that a close call.
Yeah. The nice thing with that Blink as well is not just being able to use it offensively, but defensively. You might be able to anticipate maybe a rock coming or a call down that you might be able to sidestep. It's very touch and go, but it is possible. Now, we'll see. Fissure Fly, Afro Ninja going to get poked back. This tier 1 mid lane, pretty low, pretty delicious looking here for 4 anchors, but not delicious enough for them to commit for it. To separate, and Tumman will take the top free lane to farm up a bit, with the exception of some birds. But HellRaisers got to be pretty satisfied with how the game's going so far. It looks like Warlock might have just finished his Ags. No, maybe just one more component away. So then you got double rocks coming, plus a Chen with a full army, plus a Visage with some birds. It's going to be scary. These tier 2s might not stand a chance. Trixie, though, already has a Blink Dagger on his Earthshaker. So that's the nice thing, and he's using it now. Whoa, what a jump.
There you go.
Him and Boogie get it done, and a track kill on top of it. Roman, see you later.
Yep, that is a great way to debut that Blink Dagger, get a pick-off and a track pick-off at that, and all of a sudden another 1,000 gold are sitting in the bank account of this Earthshaker. And yeah, one of those heroes that if you can snipe just a couple of kills, you can get a lot of momentum early. I mean, look at his KDA. He's 7-3-4 now, so he's actually been involved in a lot of these kills. In fact, the majority of them.
We'll see, though, if it's going to be enough to stop the all-out push here and the big team fight that HellRaisers bring. And it's looking pretty good. Boogie is very deep here. He's going to put a very aggressive ward early on. They already have vision on what's going on with the Chen. But no. It looks like Valg's no surprise. They're going to go with the Glimmer Cape build up here. More reason that HellRaisers might need to just double up on the sentries, maybe even consider a gem. Now you're going to be dealing with Glimmers plus a Bounty Hunter. I think that's just an obvious thing.
Yeah, detection is definitely a key facet here for the HellRaisers. I'm a little surprised to see that the PL stopped off for drums and now looks to be maybe moving into a Vlad's. Could just be the casual Morbid mask, but we talked about that timing with the Diffusal Blade versus the Warlock, and I guess Matumba Man, after some of that pressure early on, just feeling like, I need some stats. I can't rush the Diffusal this game. I'm just going to get picked on and I won't be able to fight in these skirmishes, but the Ags will certainly out-time it here, and already just being able to try and purge down those golems will not be a pocket strat that 4ASC can really reliably count on. At best, you're killing one of the golems.
Pressure towards bottom potentially. Trixie waiting, not looking to blink in quite yet. They get the early track. Look at this goddamn smoked up behind. They get the call down. They're just going to miss, though. But they're committed. They snowball. Dread's like, let's go, boys. Looking to roll on in, and, well, they might have to roll on back out if they don't get the follow-up yet. They got the slow. And this is a bit awkward, but they do commit the rock. It connects on the 2. I don't like this fight for HellRaisers. They kind of have to overstretch for this, and it's only like 3 members of 4 anchors, proven to be a bit of a handful here for the HellRaiser squad.
This is some serious space creation. This is a 3-on-4, 4ASC in full retreat mode. They force out the Warlock ult as well as the cooldowns, and it doesn't look like HR will get anything from this. Another homing missile flies through, but that'll be easily dealt with. Valix just tanks it. And that's it. That's a Warlock ulti on cooldown. And, a few more fights like that, and 4ASC can really make use of these timing windows. Now Dread, he gets left behind. Spirit Lance comes out. No TP on him. Does have some stick charges as well as the all-heal from Chen. No way to slow him down. No oof here. But then Trixie blinks forward, hits him with the stun. Snowball buys him some time. But this is just Dread now creating space for his team. It's a 5v1. Snowballs forward. Punches Trixie for good measure. But will not escape with his life. All the while on the top lane, though, RMN, he's doing some split pushing and pressuring that tier 2 tower. 4ASC, they have no interest in defending there. They want more kills. Call down connects on a few, but the mech comes out. Trixie with an Echo Slam sets it up onto the gyro. He falls first. The mech from Chen comes out, but Afa Ninja will not live to tell the tale. It's a triple kill for Nemphi's Shadow Fiend. RMN's now rotated down, but it may be at the cost of his own life. This could be a bloody disaster. A full 5-man wipe is looming, and it's secured with an ultra kill. 4ASC trade 5 for 0 and will secure a tier 2 tower in the bottom lane. What a series of events and a sloppy initiation from the HellRaisers.
4ASC just kind of played HR like a fiddle that whole last couple of minutes there. They just drew them out from that tier 2, forced out those ultimates, doubled back. When they realized that the ults were already committed, they decided it's our time, we'll turn it back on them, and they charged on forward. Roman busy in the top lane, no Visage, no birds to work with, and they just got exactly what they wanted. 4 anchors right back in prime shape at this point, and what looked like a HellRaisers damn good start. This is an Agnum's complete Warlock. They got all 3 tier 1s. They were just in good motion, and now 4 anchors have plenty of farm to back up a solid defense. Sure, maybe HellRaisers could push on and take some tier 2s, but even by that point, I think 4 anchors will be at the point where they've got everything they need to take it to the long run, because 4 anchors, I believe, have just the better overall late game. But we'll see.
Warlock has this really weird power curve where if you get this kind of a start, he's amazingly strong. When he gets the Ags Refresher, that's almost his peak, and it's really hard to deal with, but if you can survive that and catch up, then he starts to fall off a little bit. There comes the point where carries can just win the right quick war with golems and take him out pretty easily, and I think PL will get there sooner rather than later. We'll see him make an initiation on the goddamn in the jungle, and he'll be saying his name all the way back to the well. Well, god damn it! He does live this time, though. Makes it back to the tier 2. Still don't quite have the damage to lock him down. But Tumba Man actually invested in the BOTs before the defusal. If he had a purge there, I think they'd find the kill, but no slow.
HellRaisers still on the back pedal here. They're going to catch out. Goddamn, nice try.
Got him.
Quick kill, quick and easy goal. All GG Wentworth, though. They got a big drop right here, though, and they get the uppercut on the Valley. It's going to be enough. Nemphy, though, with a BKB, unleashes the Requiem, and they're just going to mow over the HellRaisers quickly. 4 are done.
My.
Oh, man.
This is just falling apart so quickly. This game was even for a long time, and Visage looking for a kill onto Boogie, not quite going to get it. They'll just finish off the golems for a little bit of extra gold, and now they want to dive this tower. They see RMN. They've got the track vision. They're going for it. Fissure connects. They want another full 5-for-0 exchange, and they find it. Oh my, after that first 5-for-0, Nemphy went from Bulbasaur to Ivysaur, and I think he might have gone to Venusaur with that one. He is massive.
If you are afraid of sudden drops, don't look at the net worth graph, I tell you right now, because it is 4 acres all the way at this point. They get so much gold. They're taking towers. They're taking names. They got golems from these kills. They're getting track gold.
Oh, yeah. Pop on your skis. We're going downhill, boys.
It's just crazy. They got to be in such a good spot. They're going to double back. They're going to get Roche. HellRaisers, it's pressure on. I mean, that's the problem when you commit to the Warlock build. It's nice you got the Agnums and everything, but you're building a lot around this ultimate. When you commit for it, it doesn't work out. You're going to be, 100 and some odd seconds waiting on the sidelines before you can really, utilize your full potential.
Yeah, there's no doubt that Warlock is a very potent laner and a great mid-game team fighter, but that style with the big cooldown, it's sort of Tidehunter syndrome, where it's just not his patch. You need to fight a little more frequently than that 2.5–3 minutes that you can with your ultimate, and we've just seen those kind of heroes fall a bit out of favor, and that's it. Dread calls it GG. 24 minutes in as Roche gets secured by the Dire side, and honestly here, Dakota, it feels a little preemptive, but you look at that graph, back-to-back 5-for-0 wipes. I'm with it.
It's a misclick, apparently. I actually don't think this is over.
Misclick.
He must have meant to do a different chat wheel.
All right, well, Dread, okay, never mind. I take it back. They're still in a rough position, but maybe they've got one team fight left in them here.
All right, well, they'll slide for now. We'll see. 4 anchors. Hopefully they didn't spaz out and buy anything that they thought they won. Watch them do like 5 chainmails and do the whole trick. But
wow, look at this Trixie build. He's going Blink, Force, straight to the Refresher. That is interesting.
It's delicious.
Does he have the mana pool for such a play?
I don't think so. You're talking about 410 mana plus the Refresher mana. You probably want to do a Fissure in there, I'm sure. Yeah, I don't think so. He's going to have to build up a little bit more intel.
Oh, Roman up top. Yep, he'll get dropped in a matter of seconds there. And TP coming in does get canceled. Another TP comes in. That'll be canceled as well. And they'll be able to get this tier 1 tower up top. Yep, easy peasy. Midwire. Oh, Tusk on his way in.
Dust onto Valix, your dragon, able to just slowly soar to the low ground and away from trouble. But he's fine.
Uh-oh, call down, flying out. Nobody nearby, just defensive here from just a noob. Boogie.
They're just dancing with him from all sides. Matame comes in from the left. You got little Boogie over here on the right. Winter Wyvern straight up in the north. HellRaisers like, we don't want this. We're going to get back. Fortunately for goddamn, he's like too far from home, so he is free and easy gold. Yeah. Trixie unstoppable. The track gold keeps coming in. The graph gets lower and lower.
Yeah,
I like that you turn to a real one soon.
I'm glad you mentioned the bounty hunter because that has been a key part of this snowball. Those big team wipes, at least half those kills are tracked, something like that. He's just been spamming track before these team fights break out, and it makes such a difference in how quickly they've been able to pull ahead. Now we'll see the team fight break out. The rock comes down. That stops the cast from Nemphy despite being BKB'd, but it just doesn't matter. They're able to handle the golems. Now Dread punches him through the BKB as well. He just wants to use his Requiem. There we go. Connects on 3. Then the Cold Embrace comes out. Nemphy in deep, but he does have that Aegis of the Immortal, will be able to blink back to safety before the Soul Assumption connects. Now Dread takes the Spirit Lance. He'll be relegated back to the well. Upheaval, tickling, but not really doing enough. Visage will end up going down, and whoa, Trixie with a dunk on 2. Oh, pardon me, 3 follows up with the stuns, and now the GG is called. Trixie with that final demoralizing blow to finish him off. Nicely played as 4ASC take game 1, 32-13.
That was emphatic. Everything about it right there. It looked like HellRaisers got the dream start they wanted as far as the early laning stage. You know, Warlock got a lot done there in the mid lane. Bottom was going pretty dang successful. Gyrocopter had pretty much an easy breezy time, even forcing Trixie into like an early roaming kind of Earthshaker, but it just didn't matter.